You settle into the quiet, letting your body soften into the surface beneath you. The floor, the ground, the very crust of the earth, it is warmer than you imagine, subtle heat pooling beneath your spine, beneath your arms. You inhale slowly. You feel the subtle vibrations, tiny, almost imperceptible, like whispers traveling through stone. Exhale. Let your shoulders loosen. Your mind drifts, as lightly as a feather brushing across a calm pond. Beneath you, the earth hums. Not loudly, not urgently, just a gentle, persistent rhythm, like a lullaby composed over eons. This rhythm carries memory. It remembers the long-gone mountains, the oceans that once cradled life, the shifting continents that have wandered slowly across its surface. You imagine stepping onto one of these continents. You feel it moving beneath you, a motion so slow it could almost be mistaken for stillness. Almost. Exhale. The earth moves anyway. The continents are not static. You might have thought them solid, fixed, each one a monument of permanence, yet they drift like leaves across an ocean you cannot see. A stone ocean. Slow, viscous, endless. You picture it beneath the crust, stretching and folding, carrying entire landmasses as if they were little boats floating on currents older than imagination. Your chest rises with a soft inhale. You sink a little further into warmth. Exhale. The drift continues. You imagine an ancient supercontinent, perhaps Rodinia or Pangaea, a grand, singular landmass resting quietly under the same sun, under the same sky, long before humans walked. The edges of this continent ripple like water in the morning, each ripple a whisper of distant mountains forming, of valleys deepening. The earth beneath you remembers each fold, each rise, each subtle creak. You breathe with it. You match its rhythm. Inhale. Exhale. You are a witness, not a participant. Sometimes, the movements are imperceptible. Sometimes, the land beneath shifts imperceptibly, so slow that a lifetime is but a blink in the larger ballet of stone. But you feel it, if you listen. If you tune your mind to the quiet hum, you feel the pull of the mantle beneath, a soft tug in your chest, a gentle rocking in your bones. You imagine pressing a hand to the floor and sensing a slow pulse, not frightening, not urgent, just alive. Alive, yes, in the softest possible way. The warmth spreads, and you notice the gentle vibrations of mountains forming far away, far back in time. They rise in miniature, in echoes, beneath your very feet. You smile softly, a little amused at the thought, mountains, rising from a slow-motion dance, and yet here you are, lying on their memory, feeling them as lightly as a breeze brushes a leaf. Your mind drifts to the idea that the earth itself is patient. Oh, so patient. You inhale. You exhale. Continents meet and part. You picture them touching, brushing like old friends whose hands almost meet, lingering without tension. Sometimes they embrace for millions of years, sometimes they gently move apart. There is no rush. No urgency. The stone ocean beneath guides them, cradles them, whispers encouragement. You trace these imagined movements with your fingertips, though there is nothing to touch. And still, you feel it. You feel the pulse beneath, the gentle, perpetual drift. Beneath the hum, beneath the warmth, there is a softness, a pliancy in the crust that surprises you. Though the earth is made of stone, solid and rigid, it flows slowly in ways you cannot see, in ways you can only feel. You sense it as you breathe, as your body settles further. It is comforting to imagine these movements a slow, deliberate choreography you could watch for 1,000 lifetimes and never see it complete. The earth is eternal in this sense, and you are allowed to rest alongside it. Tiny exhalations carry away tension. You notice how your heartbeat matches the slow pulse of the ground. Perhaps it is not your heartbeat at all. Perhaps it is the Earth's, shared gently through stone, through warmth, through memory. You smile again, at the idea that the planet hums a lullaby, and you are part of it, even if only as a soft echo, a gentle observer drifting above the currents of stone. There are edges of continents you cannot see, valleys and ridges forming quietly beneath oceans, beneath deserts. They whisper histories in vibrations, in warmth, in something you feel more than hear. You imagine the far reaches of these landmasses, gently curling into themselves, stretching outward, drawn by the invisible pull of forces older than thought. You inhale. The continents glide. You exhale. They glide still. You feel the patience of it. The patience of stone. Your imagination floats across millions of years. You sense the continents slowly assembling and dissolving, forming supercontinents, drifting apart, ever drifting, like leaves on a still stone sea. They collide softly, then part softly again, and you are here, lying with the earth, feeling the gentle rhythm of its motions. You notice that even in their enormity, the movements are intimate, like secret conversations beneath a quiet house, like whispers you almost cannot hear if you do not listen closely. And now, in this stillness, you become aware of a gentle warmth rising through your limbs. It is subtle, a soft reminder that you are lying on a moving world, a living mosaic, a drift that has no end. You stretch your awareness across time, across the unseen oceans beneath your feet. You breathe with the memory of mountains, with the hush of vanished seas. Each inhale carries curiosity. Each exhale carries calm. You are weightless, floating above a slow-motion world that has always been here, beneath you. It is peaceful. It is rhythmic. You feel the soft, undulating pull beneath you. The continents drift, brush, merge, and sway across the ocean of stone. You sense the quiet energy of collision and separation, and it makes you smile, a tiny, private joke of the universe, all this drama, and yet here you lie, comfortably, softly, enveloped in warmth, embraced by time itself. Inhale. Exhale. You are part of the lullaby. And as you sink deeper into the comfort of the floor, of the ground, of the earth itself, you feel a gentle pull forward, a whisper of motion, a drift toward what lies beneath, and beyond, and between. The hum continues. The warmth continues. You follow it, softly, slowly, like a leaf carried on a hidden current. And somewhere ahead, currents move, plates drift, and the ocean of stone prepares for the next gentle ballet. Your eyes, though closed, sense it. Your body, though still, flows with it. You are ready to drift further, into the hidden currents below, into the gentle embrace of movement that waits to carry you into the next chapter of the Earth's lullaby, into the silent ocean beneath the crust, and beyond. You breathe deeply and feel the earth beneath you, carrying the memory of movement from the last chapter. The warmth has settled into your back, into your legs, into your arms. Exhale. Let the hum of the crust drift further down, past your feet, past the soles of your shoes if they were here, all the way into the hidden world beneath. You imagine the stone ocean now, not as flat or solid, but as something fluid, viscous, alive in its own ancient way. The mantle flows slowly, like honey poured over a vast invisible tray. You picture currents moving beneath the continents, thick and patient, carrying immense plates along in a quiet, deliberate dance. There is no urgency here. Nothing jerks or jolts. You inhale. You imagine a plate shifting imperceptibly, sliding forward, barely a whisper in your mind, and exhale. It moves anyway, softly, inevitably. The ocean of stone never rests. Sometimes, you feel the pull of a subduction zone, a slow, gentle tug as one plate dips beneath another. Imagine it like a wave curling beneath a sandbar, moving with such grace that it almost seems to pause mid-motion. You smile at the thought, a stone ocean that curls, that folds, that patiently carries continents along invisible currents. Inhale. Exhale. You feel your chest rise and fall with it. You are part of this rhythm, a quiet observer of a ballet older than imagination. You imagine tectonic plates as icebergs floating on this thick, slow-flowing ocean. Sometimes they drift toward each other, touching gently, nudging, brushing along with a soft metallic hum. Sometimes they separate, like slow-motion dancers stepping apart on a stage made of stone and heat. The earth beneath you carries their weight without complaint. It rocks them, cradles them, encourages them to continue. You trace their movements with your awareness, following the unseen paths, floating with the currents. Beneath mid-ocean ridges, the mantle rises, pushing slowly against the plates above. Imagine it like warm breath rising through the cracks of a quiet oven, just enough to make the surface glow and shift imperceptibly. The plates drift apart, giving space for new rock to emerge. You exhale slowly, letting the rhythm sink into your shoulders. Inhale. Feel the earth breathe with you, expand and contract, rise and fall, in a slow pulse of creation and movement. There is beauty in the pace. You imagine millions of years compressed into a single, slow-motion heartbeat. Mountains and valleys are born and fade, continents collide and drift apart, and yet everything is calm, deliberate, patient. You can almost hear the whisper of stone moving, a low vibration beneath your back, beneath the floor, beneath the oceans that once carried molten rivers. You smile again. The earth has its own sense of humor, moving continents as if teasing you with a slow, cosmic game of hide and seek. In this hidden ocean, the plates glide. Sometimes they meet, brushing against each other in ways you almost can't imagine, folding the crust in silent, elegant gestures. Sometimes they part, stretching continents apart with soft, patient insistence. You inhale and imagine the gentle friction, the subtle warmth generated by motion. It is not dangerous. It is not alarming. It is slow, measured, like the hush of wind through leaves, or a cat kneading softly on a blanket. Exhale. The movement continues. You notice the textures beneath the surface. The mantle is viscous, yet pliable, almost comforting in its density. Imagine dipping a hand into a vast pool of warm caramel, so thick it resists but eventually yields. That is the ocean of stone beneath your feet. It carries entire continents in its embrace, folds them, nudges them along invisible currents. And you, lying here, feeling warmth seep into your spine, sense the patience it takes, the the slow deliberation that governs all motion here. As you drift deeper into thought, you visualize subduction zones as gentle slides, one plate descending beneath another in a long, unhurried journey. You exhale, imagining yourself riding along, feeling the subtle tug, the cozy warmth of pressure that is neither threatening nor urgent. It is movement as meditation. Inhale. The plates, like slow, liquid clouds of stone, descend. Exhale. They rise elsewhere, recycled into new crust, endlessly repeating this lullaby over eons. You imagine the continents as passengers, sometimes brushing elbows, sometimes separated by wide oceans of molten rock. You notice the patience required for this dance, how slow it is, how deliberate. There is no hurry, no tension, only a soft pull guiding them across the hidden sea beneath your feet. You inhale and feel your awareness stretch with them, across space, across time, across the invisible flows of heat and pressure. Exhale. Let your body melt further into warmth. There is a rhythm here you can follow with your breath. Each inhale aligns with the slow rise of mantle currents. Each exhale follows the gentle drift of plates, the soft descent of a subduction zone. You are not separate from it. You are part of the meditation, a quiet observer merging with the pulse of the earth. You notice, faintly, how small these movements feel in your mind but immense in the world, shaping mountains, shaping oceans, shaping time itself. The stone ocean hums, carrying whispers from the distant past. You imagine echoes of continents long gone, riding these currents, merging and separating, leaving their memory in folds of crust and ripples in the mantle. You smile at the cosmic patience. It is like watching tea swirl in a cup, slowly, deliberately, without needing to finish. You inhale. Exhale. You float along with it, comfortably, warmly, gently. Sometimes, the motion is invisible, almost imperceptible. But it is there. Beneath your spine, beneath the warmth in your legs, beneath your awareness, it persists. You imagine currents spiraling, twisting, folding back on themselves like smoke in a sunbeam. Plates ride these invisible waves, moving as if carried by the softest wind. You are allowed to watch, allowed to drift, allowed to breathe with them. Exhale. Inhale. Flow. Drift. The ocean of stone beneath you is eternal in its patience. You imagine the plates as dancers, carried, lifted, turned by currents they cannot resist. They glide, they touch, they separate, and the earth hums quietly beneath, a steady undertone of warmth and vibration. You feel a gentle smile rising, at the absurdity, the elegance, the absolute calm of it all. Nothing needs to hurry. Everything unfolds exactly as it should. And now, lying here, you feel yourself drifting further into the hidden ocean, past the crust, past familiar warmth, into the soft currents that will carry you into the next layer of this slow, eternal ballet. Inhale. Exhale. Plates glide, currents swirl, continents float, and you, breathing softly, drift alongside them. The earth hums you forward. The stone ocean whispers. And somewhere ahead, a new story is forming, inviting your mind to follow. You settle deeper into the warmth of the earth beneath you, the gentle hum of the crust from the last chapter still vibrating softly against your spine. Exhale. Let the pulse carry through your arms, your legs, your chest, until it feels like you are floating above the very surface of the planet. Inhale. You follow the slow currents below, drifting alongside them, feeling the patient rhythm of stone oceans that have carried entire continents for eons. Now, imagine a world before it was fully shaped, before Pangaea or Rodinia existed. The continents are scattered like puzzle pieces, like tiny leaves floating across a calm pond of molten stone. They wander slowly, drawn not by urgency but by subtle, invisible forces that guide them across the viscous mantle. Inhale. Exhale. You feel the patience in the pull, the quiet insistence that all things will eventually meet, eventually touch, eventually become. The ocean of stone beneath them hums approvingly. You can feel its gentle energy in your chest, a soft vibration that matches your breathing. The continents are like soft clay in the hands of a sculptor. Not hurried, not forceful, just guided. Each inhale brings awareness to the folds forming in crusts, each exhale releases tension as the land masses edge closer together. You imagine the warmth of the mantle rising like a tender breath, caressing the underside of drifting continents, coaxing them to align in the slow choreography of creation. You notice the tiny collisions at first. One landmass nudges another, a slight brush of ancient stone, a tentative handshake across a vast, empty ocean. You smile softly at the thought how patient the earth is, allowing these first touches without rushing them. Inhale. Exhale. The movements are almost imperceptible, yet immense in their consequence. Mountains will rise, valleys will deepen, and yet, for now, it is a gentle encounter, a soft prelude to grandeur. In your mind, you follow a single continent as it glides across the ocean of stone. It drifts over currents that flow beneath, invisible and constant, carrying it toward companions it has not seen for millions of years. You can feel the heat of the mantle beneath, the gentle resistance, the soft tug as it approaches another landmass. Inhale. Exhale. The continents bend ever so slightly, yielding to the patient guidance of unseen forces, as if the planet itself is whispering, "This way, softly, softly." The ocean of stone is alive with memory. It remembers past formations, past supercontinents that drifted apart long before your mind can imagine. You sense echoes of these lost lands in every gentle push, every tender pull. You feel the rhythm of recurrence, the quiet repetition of creation and dissolution, and you breathe with it, inhaling the long patience of earth, exhaling your own small tension. You float with the land masses, feeling their texture beneath the imaginary fingertips of your awareness. As the continents draw closer, you notice the gentle rising of mountain ranges, not abrupt, not harsh, but like soft folds appearing on a sleeping blanket. Exhale. They rise without hurry. Inhale. Valleys stretch lazily between them, guided by the subtle currents of the mantle below. The world reshapes slowly, lovingly, without urgency, without alarm. You feel the patience required for such vast movements, and you match it with your own breath, slow, calm, deliberate. Imagine a moment when the scattered continents are almost touching. You can sense the pressure building quietly, not threatening, not alarming, just present, like the gentle squeeze of a warm hand resting on yours. Exhale. Inhale. You feel the anticipation of connection without urgency, a slow, deliberate approach that hums through the stone ocean beneath. You smile again. Creation itself has a sense of humor, moving vast landmasses as if to tease and delight in the quiet drama of alignment. The supercontinents form like soft mosaics of warm stone. Pangaea, Rodinia, Gondwana and names that float like lullabies across your mind. They assemble without effort, each piece drifting into its place, guided by invisible currents, guided by patience, guided by the slow embrace of heat and pressure beneath. You inhale. You feel the gentle rise of ridges, the quiet hum of the ocean of stone beneath, the subtle, pervasive energy of earth shaping itself without hurry. Exhale. Even as they merge, you notice the individuality of each landmass. They retain their character, their texture, their whisper of history. You imagine brushing a hand over a fold in a mountain ridge, over the curve of a coastline, and sensing the story of movement embedded there. Each ridge, each valley, each gentle slope carries memory of millions of years, and you rest with it, breathing in the vastness, breathing out tension, floating in the lullaby of creation. Sometimes, the continents pause. They linger close to one another, brushing, touching, holding the possibility of connection without rushing into it. You notice how the ocean of stone below flows patiently, cushioning every touch, softening every collision. Inhale. Exhale. It is as if the earth itself is humming a slow song, encouraging them, whispering, "All is well, all is well, all is well." You float with the reassurance, feeling it seep into your muscles, into your bones, into the spaces between thoughts. The mantle beneath them is not stagnant. Currents swirl, fold, rise, and fall, guiding the landmasses gently along. You can imagine the subtle warmth, the viscous flow, the patient nudging that keeps them moving over unimaginable timescales. You exhale, feeling your body sink further into comfort. Inhale. You float with the currents, soft as a leaf, soft as a sigh, following the slow, deliberate dance of creation, knowing that nothing is hurried, nothing is missing. And now, as the supercontinent nears completion, you sense the tension in the earth, not threatening, but expectant, like a cat waiting to leap softly onto a windowsill. Exhale. Inhale. You feel the anticipation as a gentle pull in your chest, a light vibration in your spine. The continents press together, brush past one another, fold slightly, merge into an immense whole. Mountains rise, valleys stretch, oceans shrink. And yet, for you, lying here, the motion is a lullaby, a slow hum of stone and heat beneath the floor. You notice that even in this immense assembly, the earth allows time. Each fold, each ridge, each subtle ripple in the stone ocean beneath is deliberate. You match your breathing to it. Inhale. Exhale. You feel the calm insistence of creation, the patient weaving of continents into a tapestry so vast you cannot hold it in your mind, yet soft enough to rest upon with ease. You sense that this is how the earth always moves, patient, rhythmic, enduring. And as you lie here, drifting with the new supercontinent, you feel the stone ocean beneath you whispering secrets of the next drift, the next separation, the next gentle dance. Inhale. Exhale. You smile, knowing that nothing is final, everything is part of a slow, timeless pattern. Your body relaxes further, sinking into warmth, drifting with invisible currents, ready to follow the next movement, the next whisper of stone and heat that will carry you onward. The earth hums softly beneath your back, beneath your legs, beneath your awareness. You feel the warmth, the subtle motion, the gentle embrace of creation in progress. And somewhere ahead, currents swirl, continents wait, and the next chapter of this slow, eternal ballet begins to form, inviting you to drift further into the ocean of stone and beyond. You sink deeper into the warmth beneath you, still feeling the gentle pulse of the ocean of stone from the birth of supercontinents. Exhale. Let the rhythm of creation slide through your spine, curl around your shoulders, settle into your arms. Inhale. You drift along with the gentle currents beneath, following their slow, deliberate motion as they cradle continents like drifting leaves on a vast, viscous sea. The supercontinent has formed, and now it begins its slow, patient drift. You imagine it stretching, as if taking a long, careful yawn after a deep slumber. Exhale. You sense the crust beneath your back giving just a little, soft, pliant, responding to the quiet urges of the mantle below. Inhale. The stone ocean flows. It guides, it rocks, it hums quietly. There is no urgency. There is only motion. Gentle, deliberate, eternal motion. You visualize continents sliding apart, each one a petal on a still pond. The edges brush softly against the water of stone, and sometimes they leave gentle ripples behind. You smile softly at the image, massive landmasses, moving slowly, like drifting tea leaves in a cup of calm liquid. Exhale. You feel the currents beneath them, invisible yet tangible in your imagination, rising and folding in slow, reassuring waves. Inhale. The earth breathes with you. Mountains rise as the plates shift. Valleys stretch. Oceans slowly widen, expanding like warm breath filling a quiet room. You notice the patience in the motions, the care in the folding and stretching of rock. There is no hurry, no rush. The stone ocean moves beneath them, viscous and persistent, carrying the weight of entire continents with a grace that makes your chest feel lighter. Exhale. Inhale. You float with them. Subtle collisions may occur along the way, gentle nudges, soft brushes of continents against one another. You imagine these moments as soft handshakes, polite greetings across vast expanses. The stone ocean cushions each touch, absorbing tension, releasing warmth. You feel the soft vibration of this slow interaction through your awareness, through the warmth spreading across your back and legs. Inhale. Exhale. Everything aligns, eventually, without hurry, without strain. You notice the subtle undulations beneath the crust. Mantle convection moves in slow loops, rising here, sinking there, guiding each continent with patient insistence. You imagine lying on a quiet, gently rocking boat, floating above this hidden world, your body moving with the currents, not against them. Inhale. Exhale. The movement rocks you, soothes you, carries you along in perfect rhythm. Sometimes the drift feels almost imperceptible. You might think the continents are still. But you know, as you feel it in your chest, in the warmth beneath your spine, in the hum beneath your shoulders, they are moving. Slowly. Gracefully. Persistently. You smile, realizing that imperceptible does not mean absent. You exhale tension. Inhale patience. Drift. Flow. Follow. The oceans of stone beneath them flow like warm, thick honey, folding, curling, nudging. You imagine pressing a hand into it, feeling its resistance, yet its ultimate willingness to move and carry whatever rests upon it. Exhale. Inhale. You merge with the rhythm. You float above these massive landmasses, imagining the gentle tug and push beneath, imagining the subtle sway and rotation, feeling it in your own body as if you were part of this slow-motion dance. You notice that even as the continents drift apart, they retain echoes of one another. Old mountain ranges, ridges, valleys, the subtle memory of past collisions, all whisper across the widening seas. You inhale and let this awareness fill your mind, exhale and feel the calm that comes with the understanding. Separation is part of a larger, patient pattern. Nothing is lost. Everything is carried forward, in folds, in ripples, in quiet, persistent hums. The pace is mesmerizing. You imagine millions of years condensed into gentle, flowing minutes of awareness. You see the continents glide past one another, edges brushing, sometimes folding, sometimes rising. You notice the small peaks of mountains forming along these folds, like soft exhalations of the earth itself. Exhale. Inhale. The slow, deliberate movements soothe you. You can almost hear a soft chuckle from the planet, a gentle reminder that the earth is playful, even in the weight of its immensity. Sometimes, the continents drift silently, leaving wide stretches of new ocean behind. You imagine walking along the edge of these waters, warm sunlight on your back, gentle waves lapping at your feet. The stone ocean beneath continues its invisible work, rising and folding, guiding the drift with infinite patience. Inhale. Exhale. You are part of this lullaby. You are allowed to rest here, floating alongside the slow ballet of land and stone. Mountains continue to rise in gentle folds. Valleys stretch and deepen. Ocean ridges pulse beneath your mind's eye, carrying warmth upward like soft breath through a quiet room. The continents rotate slowly, gliding across currents, folding over ridges, adjusting to the pull of unseen forces. You inhale, feeling the patience of earth settle in your chest. Exhale, releasing any tension you did not even know you were holding. Drift. Flow. The drift is rhythmic, almost musical. You hear the low, continuous hum beneath the crust, a resonance that reminds you that all motion is connected, all flow is shared. Each inhale draws you deeper into this rhythm, each exhale lets you relax further into the embrace of stone and warmth. You imagine tiny sparks of humor, a continent nudging another as if it were teasing it playfully, a secret smile in the folds of mountains. Exhale. Inhale. Gentle laughter spreads quietly through your awareness. And now, as you float with the drifting continents, you notice the soft, subtle pull of distant currents that will eventually guide them into new encounters, new folds, new separations. You feel the gentle tug in your chest, in your spine, in your awareness. Inhale. Exhale. The continents drift. They glide. They separate. They rotate. They rest. And you, lying here, warmed, cradled by the earth, drift with them, matching the slow dance with each breath. The ocean of stone hums beneath your back. Its currents fold and rise. Its warmth spreads gently through your legs, your shoulders, your chest. You imagine gliding across this hidden ocean, floating above continents that drift like petals on a pond, carried forward by forces older than memory, slower than thought, softer than a sigh. Inhale. Exhale. Flow. Drift. Follow. And somewhere ahead, in the slow unfolding of time and space, the continents will meet again. New collisions await. New separations, new folds, new dances in the ocean of stone. You feel the gentle anticipation, not as urgency, not as tension, but as the soft pull of something inevitable, quiet, comforting. You drift toward it, carried forward by the currents, ready to witness the next act, the next breath, the next whisper of Earth itself. Exhale. Inhale. You settle into warmth. You drift. The stone ocean hums. The continents glide. And somewhere ahead, whispers of mountains and ridges, valleys and folds, call softly, inviting your awareness to follow into the next chapter, where new dances, new rhythms, new slow motions await, just beyond the horizon of your imagination. You settle deeper into warmth, letting the slow drift of continents from the previous chapter settle into your mind. Exhale. Feel the gentle rocking of the stone ocean beneath you, like a cradle, soft and patient. Inhale. The currents beneath the crust continue their quiet work, carrying entire continents, guiding their paths without hurry, without strain. You are a gentle witness, floating above the slow ballet, observing every subtle motion. Now, notice how some of these drifting landmasses begin to approach one another. Not suddenly, not violently, but with the slow inevitability of tides brushing softly against a sandbar. Exhale. You feel the anticipation as a soft vibration through your back, warm and comforting. Inhale. You imagine the continents as old friends, extending hands across vast expanses, fingertips brushing lightly, sensing one another's presence, without force or urgency. The ocean of stone beneath them hums approvingly. It carries the continents, cushions each touch, folds and bends in response to pressure. You sense the subtle energy, a low, almost inaudible murmur beneath your awareness, like the distant whisper of wind through leaves. Exhale. Inhale. You float along with the landmasses, feeling their slow rotations, their gentle nudges, their tender approach. Mountains will rise, valleys will deepen, and yet it is calm, soft, deliberate. You imagine the first contact. The edges of two continents brush, fold slightly, generating warmth that you can feel as a gentle pull in your chest. The collision is not jarring. It is like pressing two pillows together, compressing softly, feeling the give and take in every fold. Inhale. Exhale. Tiny ridges rise along the edges of the plates, mountains born from the quiet intimacy of pressure. You smile softly at the thought, immense forces, yet playful, teasing, patient. Sometimes, the plates fold over each other, layering like fabric in the gentlest of breezes. You visualize the subtle bending, the soft creaking of stone, a soundless whisper in the orchestra of creation. Exhale. Inhale. You let this rhythm enter your body, your awareness, your very spine, until you feel aligned with the calm energy of these slow, graceful collisions. There is no hurry, no alarm. Only motion, quiet and persistent, like a lullaby for the earth itself. You notice the delicate balance in every meeting. One continent nudges another, folds against it, and the stone ocean beneath absorbs and smooths every interaction. Inhale. Exhale. The landmasses rise and fall gently, creating new valleys, new peaks, new folds in the tapestry of the crust. You imagine brushing a hand over one of these folds, sensing the memory of movement, the story of millions of years told in gentle curves and subtle ridges. Sometimes, you picture multiple collisions happening at once. A continent on one side nudges another, while a third drifts past in quiet rotation. Exhale. Inhale. The movements are like a soft conversation among old friends, voices whispered across a room, each aware of the others, each careful, considerate, measured. The stone ocean hums beneath them, a conductor guiding the delicate symphony, coaxing them to dance without urgency. You inhale and feel your chest rise with the slow energy of formation. Exhale and let yourself sink further into warmth, feeling each ridge and valley as a soft vibration beneath your back. The movements are immense, yet gentle. The mountains grow like soft exhalations, valleys deepen like tiny sighs of relief. You imagine the earth's laughter as continents brush playfully, as ridges fold just so, as the vast stone ocean hums along, carrying them with infinite patience. Sometimes, collisions are brief, soft touches before the plates drift apart again. Sometimes they linger, brushing and pressing, rising ever so slightly. Inhale. Exhale. The slow energy reminds you that pressure does not always hurt. Sometimes it creates beauty, shapes landscapes, forms memories in stone. You feel the rhythm of creation echoing in your own breath, inhaling patience, exhaling tension, floating in alignment with the gentle, slow currents below. You notice the warmth rising through the crust where plates meet, gentle, welcoming. Exhale. You imagine it like sunlight on your skin, subtle, soft, pervasive. Inhale. The stone ocean beneath hums a slow tune, carrying away strain, guiding the collision, shaping the mountains, tracing valleys with the patience of 1,000 years. You feel the rhythm, the gentle rise and fall, the ebb and flow of immense forces, all calm, all deliberate. The plates fold, shift, rotate. Valleys form, oceans shift slightly, ridges align. You float along with the movement, carried forward by the invisible currents. Exhale. Inhale. You notice how everything is part of a larger pattern, a slow, eternal choreography. Nothing is rushed, nothing is forced. Even the collision is a whisper, a soft brush of existence that creates, rather than harms. You smile at the infinite patience of the earth, at the quiet humor of continents teasing each other in slow embrace. And as the continents settle slightly, the ridges complete their rise, the valleys stretch, you notice the rhythm beneath your spine. Inhale. Exhale. The stone ocean flows still, hums quietly, carries the slow pulse of formation forward. You feel aligned with it, floating above it, a soft observer in a vast, gentle dance that has played for eons and will continue for eons more. You imagine the soundless creaking beneath the crust as music, a soft lullaby of motion and pressure. Exhale. Inhale. Mountains sigh into existence. Valleys fold like pages in a well-loved book. The stone ocean cradles it all, patient, infinite, unhurried. You are part of this rhythm, drifting alongside it, letting the warmth settle deeper, letting your chest rise and fall with the quiet pulse of creation. Sometimes, you picture small, playful moments, a continent nudging another slightly, teasing it as if saying, "Hello again." You smile, allowing the tiny humor to enter your body, soft and gentle, releasing any remaining tension. Inhale. Exhale. The movements continue, patient and deliberate, the folds, the ridges, the valleys, all forming slowly, perfectly, with a rhythm that hums beneath your awareness. And now, as you float above the soft collisions, you sense the next phase of this patient choreography. The currents beneath the plates continue to move. Valleys will deepen. Mountains will rise further. The stone ocean hums, inviting you to follow. Exhale. Inhale. You are ready to drift along with the rhythms that are already forming, carried gently forward, cradled in warmth, carried into the next slow chapter of the Earth's timeless, endless lullaby. You lie back, letting the gentle rhythm of collisions from the last chapter settle in your mind. Exhale. Feel warmth spread along your spine, down into your legs, like sunlight seeping through a soft window. Inhale. Beneath you, the stone ocean continues to flow, moving currents of immense patience, guiding continents in quiet, deliberate arcs. You float with it, cradled, carried, warmed by its persistent, unhurried hum. Now, imagine a subduction zone. A continent drifts slowly toward another, but instead of pressing and folding, it begins to sink, slipping beneath the other plate like a leaf slipping under calm water. Exhale. You feel it gently tug at your awareness, the sensation of descent and surrender, soft and patient. Inhale. The stone ocean beneath embraces it, viscous and welcoming, accepting the plate into its slow, transformative currents without resistance. You notice the immense patience in this movement. There is no hurry, no jolt, no friction that feels alarming. Exhale. The plate disappears beneath the other, carried downward into warmth and pressure, transformed rather than lost. Inhale. You sense the recycling, the quiet promise that the sinking land will return someday, molded anew, reshaped, ready to drift again across the ocean of stone. The mantle hums beneath, rising and folding like a gentle breath. Exhale. You imagine the currents curling around the descending plate, lifting, nudging, carrying, whispering encouragement. Inhale. The plate melts slowly, becomes part of the rhythm, part of the dance. The stone ocean is infinite in patience, infinite in care. You rest in its lullaby, feeling warmth, weight, and gentle motion vibrating through your spine. Sometimes, you picture entire continental edges slipping quietly beneath one another, like the soft closing of a book, pages sliding against pages, smooth, careful, precise. Exhale. You can almost hear the faint, distant murmur of movement, soundless yet present, a reminder that Earth is alive, breathing, transforming. Inhale. You drift along with it, floating above this immense ballet of creation, your body aligning with its rhythm. You notice how even in descent, there is harmony. The plate bends, curves, melts into the currents, carried onward with grace. Exhale. Inhale. There is warmth in this patience, in this acceptance, in this slow surrender. You imagine yourself folding into a soft blanket in the same way, melting into the motion, carried along without resistance, floating alongside the immense transformations below. Subduction zones are not endings. They are beginnings in disguise. Exhale. Inhale. As the plate descends, new material rises elsewhere, fed by the flow of mantle currents, forming ridges, mountains, new crust. You imagine the rising oceanic ridges like soft breaths from the earth itself, expanding gently, pushing upward, reshaping the surface with tender patience. The stone ocean hums approval. You can feel the cycles as a gentle rhythm in your chest. Inhale. Exhale. Sinking and rising, release and renewal, giving and receiving. The continents are never lost, they are transformed, remade, reborn, drifting again in time. You sense the inevitability of return without tension, the quiet certainty of renewal carried forward by currents older than memory. Exhale. Inhale. The cycle continues, endless, hypnotic, comforting. Sometimes, the sinking plate bends too slowly for your mind to perceive. You notice the patience required, the weight of eons in soft, imperceptible motion. Exhale. Inhale. You imagine riding along, feeling the warmth and pressure, sensing the subtle folds and twists, the gentle transformation. You smile softly, the earth's humor is present even here, in slow, deliberate descent, in playful ridges rising elsewhere, in the whispering hum of stone and heat. The process is not silent in feeling. Exhale. You notice tiny vibrations beneath your awareness, the faint creak and bend of enormous stone masses. Inhale. They are immense, yet gentle, immense, yet patient, immense, yet playful. You float above them, cradled by the warmth, lulled by the movement, aware that the descent is part of a larger, infinite pattern of motion and return. As you drift further, you imagine entire continents approaching subduction zones. Exhale. They bend slightly, slow and careful, slipping beneath one another like soft shadows folding in on themselves. Inhale. You sense the continuity, the unbroken hum of transformation, the gentle promise of renewal, the stone ocean carrying all with infinite patience. The process is hypnotic, comforting, like the slow rise and fall of your chest in steady sleep. Sometimes, the plate pauses, lingering at the top of its descent, teasing the mantle below, testing the warmth, testing the flow. Exhale. Inhale. Then it continues, curling, sinking, melding with the currents, joining the rhythmic fold of the Earth's hidden ocean. You drift along, noticing each subtle motion, aligning with each ebb and swell, feeling the warmth, the pressure, the gentle push and pull as if carried on invisible hands. You imagine the ocean above the subduction zone. Inhale. Exhale. Currents curl beneath the crust, pushing new material upward, raising ridges, creating small peaks, valleys, hills. The earth recycles itself gently, thoughtfully, endlessly. You notice the soft humor again, plates sinking here, new material rising there, a quiet conversation across eons. Exhale. Inhale. You float along, warmed, carried, soothed. The cycle of sinking and rising creates landscapes that are patient, deliberate, eternal. Mountains, ridges, valleys, ocean floors, all shaped by the stone ocean's invisible hands. Exhale. Inhale. You rest in this vast patience, floating alongside continents that are never lost, only transformed. You sense continuity, endurance, the endless flow of creation, a lullaby older than memory itself. And now, as you drift with the slow currents of subduction and uplift, you notice the whisper of possibility. Inhale. Exhale. Continents sink, rise, separate, and will one day meet again. You sense it in your chest, in your spine, in the warmth beneath your back. The stone ocean hums beneath you, guiding, cradling, carrying, whispering the quiet truth: endings are beginnings, releases are returns, loss is transformation. You float in warmth, lulled by the rhythm. Exhale. Inhale. The stone ocean moves beneath your awareness, patient, infinite, gentle. The sinking plates whisper, the rising ridges hum, the continents drift, and you, cradled in warmth, align your breath with the eternal rhythm. You feel yourself merging with the slow, patient dance, carried forward in anticipation of new formations, new collisions, new whispers of stone and heat. And somewhere ahead, eons away, and yet here in your mind, the continents will meet again. The currents will continue, the ridges will rise, the valleys will deepen. You are invited to drift further, float higher, melt softly into warmth, carried gently by the stone ocean into the next chapter, where echoes of ancient supercontinents hum once more, and the Earth's patient song continues. You settle into the familiar warmth beneath you, still sensing the subduction currents from the last chapter, flowing and folding, sinking and rising, patient and endless. Exhale. Inhale. You align your breath with the slow, invisible pulse of the stone ocean, feeling the gentle hum vibrate along your spine, settling into your chest, your arms, your legs. You drift. You float. You are cradled. Now, imagine a time far beyond memory, before humans, before cities, before even the ocean's modern shapes. Continents glide across the stone ocean in silent arcs, drawn together, pulled apart, merging and separating in a rhythm older than thought. Inhale. Exhale. You notice the echoes of supercontinents long gone: Rodinia, Pangaea, Gondwana, whispers of immense landmasses forming and dissolving, rising and falling with infinite patience. Each supercontinent leaves traces, subtle as a melody you can barely hum. Exhale. You sense them beneath the stone ocean, beneath the mountains, beneath the very crust you imagine beneath your back. Inhale. They hum their quiet song of assembly and separation, a lullaby older than time. You float alongside these echoes, feeling their gentle pull, their soft insistence that continents will meet, will part, will meet again. Rodinia glides slowly into shape, a warm landmass unfolding in slow arcs, carried by the stone ocean's currents. Valleys deepen, ridges rise, oceans shift slightly in response. Exhale. You feel the patient folding in the earth beneath you, a soft vibration that travels through your awareness. Inhale. You trace the edges of these ancient lands, imagining the warmth of sunlight, the quiet sway of mountains, the hush of valleys stretching across vast distances. And then, Rodinia begins to fragment, splitting apart into smaller continents that drift, slowly, deliberately, across the molten currents beneath. Exhale. You notice the subtle tension, the careful separation, the soft hum of stone ocean currents guiding them. Inhale. There is no urgency here, only slow motion, deliberate drift, patient unfolding. You float with the landmasses, carried along in rhythm, soothed by the endless repetition of assembly and dispersal. Pangaea rises later, like a ghostly echo of Rodinia's pattern, a melody revisited in slightly different tones. Exhale. You feel the warm, gentle embrace of continents converging again, rising into a new shape over the stone ocean, currents folding beneath them, mountains forming softly, oceans retreating gently. Inhale. You drift above the edges, sensing the folds and bends, tracing the slow pulse of formation, quiet as a heartbeat, calm as a sigh. The earth hums beneath your spine. You notice the subtle creaks and folds, the invisible currents curling beneath the plates, guiding them with infinite patience. Exhale. Inhale. Each movement is soft, deliberate, musical, a whisper of forces immense yet tender. You can feel the slow rotations, the gentle nudges, the careful embrace of continents as they meet across vast distances. The Earth's song continues, low, warm, eternal. Sometimes, a landmass drifts alone, separated by wide oceans, waiting patiently to reconnect with others. Exhale. You sense the hush of the currents, the warm, gentle hum that guides it, the quiet insistence of time and patience. Inhale. The drifting continent is not lost. It is carried, shaped, molded, prepared to meet its companions again. You drift alongside, carried by warmth, cradled by motion, lulled by rhythm. The echoes of these ancient supercontinents are like gentle refrains in a lullaby. You inhale, and the folds of Pangaea brush softly beneath your awareness. Exhale, and Rodinia's broken fragments ripple gently across the stone ocean. You notice the patterns repeating, the cycles of assembly and disassembly, the infinite patience of Earth guiding all movement. You float. You breathe. You hum softly along with the planet. The mountains that rise during these cycles are like soft exhalations of energy, the valleys gentle folds in a blanket of stone. Exhale. You feel the warmth rising, the subtle tension releasing, the rhythm carrying you along. Inhale. You trace each ridge, each curve, each fold, letting your mind drift across eons, feeling the patient hand of the stone ocean beneath it all. The Earth is slow, infinite, gentle, and you are a witness, cradled by its patience. Sometimes, continents meet softly, nudging, brushing, embracing in ways both delicate and monumental. Exhale. You sense the quiet joy of contact, the gentle energy that raises mountains, folds ridges, deepens valleys. Inhale. It is a conversation without words, a whispering exchange carried across immense distances by currents, by heat, by the slow hum of the stone ocean. You drift, floating among these movements, soothed by their grace, warmed by their touch. You notice the continuity of motion. Continents break apart, drift, reassemble, drift again. Exhale. Inhale. The hum beneath your awareness matches your own, a low, infinite vibration that assures you all is well, all is gentle, all is patient. You float in the lullaby, a soft observer cradled by warmth, cradled by time, cradled by the persistent, infinite rhythm of the Earth's slow dance. Sometimes, echoes of Pangaea brush against Rodinia's memory, subtle reminders of past forms. Exhale. You sense the cycles overlapping, the patterns intertwining, the repetitions soft and musical. Inhale. You drift, carried by the stone ocean, guided by warmth, lulled by rhythm, soothed by the knowledge that nothing is lost, only transformed, only repeated in gentle cycles across eons. The Earth's song continues beneath you. You inhale, feeling the faint vibration of distant oceans, the subtle pull of drifting landmasses, the warmth of the stone ocean folding beneath your back. Exhale. You sense mountains forming softly, ridges rising gently, valleys stretching like lazy sighs. You float alongside them, part of the calm, part of the infinite rhythm, merging your breath with the pulse of the planet. And now, as you drift through echoes of supercontinents, you feel the gentle pull of the future, the soft inevitability of new formations, new collisions, new dispersals. Exhale. Inhale. The stone ocean hums approval, the mountains sigh into existence, the valleys stretch and bend. You are cradled in warmth, carried by currents, lulled by the slow, endless rhythm of Earth's patient, deliberate song. You notice the subtle humor of creation again, a continent teasing another, a ridge folding just slightly off-center, a valley curving in a playful arc. Exhale. Inhale. The infinite patience, the gentle persistence, the soft repetition, all hum in harmony beneath your awareness, inviting you to drift, to float, to melt further into warmth, into rhythm, into calm. And somewhere ahead, the echoes of supercontinents whisper again, calling softly, inviting you to follow, carried gently by currents that have flowed for billions of years, flowing still, and flowing onward. Exhale. Inhale. You drift, cradled in warmth, lulled by stone and heat, ready to float into the next chapter, where mountains, valleys, and the feeling of time will rise around you like a soft, infinite embrace. You lie back, feeling the warmth beneath you, the soft pulse of the stone ocean lingering from the echoes of supercontinents. Exhale. Your breath aligns with the rhythm of Earth's slow dance, rising and falling with each gentle current beneath your back. Inhale. Mountains and valleys stretch across the planet, vast and patient, a reminder that time itself has weight and warmth. You drift, carried by invisible hands, cradled in quiet motion. You visualize mountains rising from the crust, the peaks soft in your mind's eye, as if the earth exhales them gently into being. Exhale. Feel the warmth of the stone beneath, the subtle hum of rising ridges vibrating softly through your awareness. Inhale. Valleys extend between peaks, folded and stretched over eons, carved not in haste, but in infinite patience. You sense their quiet presence beneath your fingertips, beneath your chest, beneath your mind. Time itself seems to flow differently here. Exhale. Inhale. It stretches, slow and elastic, like a soft ribbon unfurling over the surface of the earth. You imagine tracing your fingers along a valley floor, feeling the ridges of ancient folds, each a sigh of the planet, each a story whispered into stone. Mountains rise, valleys deepen, oceans curve gently. You float with them, letting their rhythm become your own. Some peaks are sharp in imagination, yet softened by the passing of millions of years. Exhale. You notice the gentle creak of stone as it folds, bends, releases. Inhale. The valleys absorb this motion, a soft counterpoint, a whisper of harmony beneath your awareness. You feel the subtle dance of rise and fall, of pressure and release, of stone moving in endless patience. You merge with the rhythm, your breath echoing it, your body floating with it. The stone ocean hums beneath it all, invisible yet present. Exhale. Inhale. It cradles the roots of mountains, supports the folds of valleys, guides rivers along gentle courses, and whispers to you in low, infinite tones. You imagine the slow, creeping growth of a ridge, a mountain, a fold, each imperceptible in a moment, yet immense over eons. The earth moves, and you move with it, warm, carried, cradled. You notice the humor hidden in the folds, a ridge that curves just slightly off-center, a valley that twists like a playful smile, a mountain peak that rises with a subtle tilt. Exhale. Inhale. The earth is patient and gentle, persistent yet playful. You float among these motions, noticing every curve, every fold, every subtle shift, carried along by the stone ocean's gentle currents. The sense of time here is meditative. Exhale. You feel it in your chest, in your shoulders, in the warmth beneath your back. Inhale. Each ridge is a heartbeat, each valley a sigh, each fold a gentle passage of time, measured not in moments but in movements, in currents, in infinite patience. You drift alongside them, carried forward, lulled by rhythm, warmed by motion. You notice rivers tracing the valleys, soft lines of silver threading between peaks, flowing slowly, deliberately, guided by the underlying folds and currents. Exhale. Inhale. They hum quietly in your mind, tracing the contours, soft and hypnotic, weaving the story of mountains, valleys, and the passage of time. You imagine running your fingers along the river, feeling its cool presence, its gentle pull, its alignment with the stone ocean beneath. The mountains are not still. They rise, they fold, they bend, they sigh. Exhale. You feel these soft vibrations ripple through your chest, your arms, your legs. Inhale. Valleys deepen, ridges extend, oceans curve gently in response. You drift alongside, aligning your breath, merging your awareness with the slow, hypnotic pulse of Earth itself. The rhythm carries you, warms you, soothes you. Sometimes, the folds are subtle, nearly imperceptible. Exhale. Inhale. Yet even the smallest rise, the tiniest valley, the slightest undulation contributes to the vast song of time and stone. You float above it all, observing without urgency, cradled by warmth, lulled by rhythm, hypnotized by patience. The earth has no rush. Neither do you. You notice the layers of history embedded in stone. Exhale. Inhale. Every ridge, every fold, every trough tells a story of collisions, of separations, of drifting continents, of subduction zones. You sense the memory of eons in the curves beneath you, feel it in the warmth along your spine, in the gentle hum of the stone ocean, in the soft rhythm of your own breathing. You drift with time itself. Mountains rise gently, yet their peaks carry the weight of millions of years. Exhale. Valleys stretch beneath them, patient, infinite. Inhale. You feel your body absorb this rhythm, your chest rising and falling in concert with the earth, your mind drifting alongside each fold and rise, each crest and trough. You are cradled in patience, in warmth, in infinite motion. The stone ocean hums beneath you, invisible but ever present. Exhale. Inhale. You imagine leaning into a ridge, feeling its warmth, its gentle vibration, its soft insistence. Valleys sigh beneath your touch, mountains rise in gentle folds. You drift along the edges of this immense landscape, floating with it, merged with it, lulled by it, aware of the slow, deliberate, infinite passage of time. Sometimes, you picture tiny playful moments in the mountains and valleys, a ridge curving like a smile, a fold tilting gently, a peak leaning as if to whisper hello. Exhale. Inhale. The earth is patient, persistent, playful. You float among these moments, warmed, cradled, soothed. You notice how the feeling of time here is different. It stretches, soft and malleable, folding gently around your awareness. Exhale. Inhale. Mountains, valleys, rivers, ridges all merge into one gentle rhythm, a slow lullaby, a song without end, carried on currents of stone and warmth. You drift further, carried by the soft pulse, soothed by its persistence, warmed by its infinite embrace. And now, as you rest in the shadow of these towering mountains, in the gentle fold of valleys, you feel the soft pulse of continuity beneath your back, through the stone ocean, along the slow rhythm of the earth. Exhale. Inhale. The passage of time is not a weight, it is a warm, infinite embrace. You drift with it, carried by currents, lulled by folds, soothed by ridges, warmed by warmth, cradled by patience, ready to follow the soft whispers of the continents as they continue their endless dance. Somewhere ahead, continents will drift again, collisions will whisper softly, oceans will swallow and release, and the earth's patient hum will guide you further. Exhale. Inhale. You drift with warmth and awareness, ready to float into the next chapter, where the return of lost continents promises gentle reunion, soft embrace, and infinite, hypnotic rhythm. You lie back once more, warmth settling along your spine, aligning your breath with the slow pulse of the stone ocean beneath. Exhale. Inhale. You feel the currents, subtle yet powerful, flowing beneath your awareness, carrying fragments of continents, drifting gently across the molten rhythm of the earth. You drift with them, cradled by warmth, lulled by motion, hypnotized by patience. Now, imagine the continents that once drifted apart in earlier chapters: Pangaea, Gondwana, smaller fragments of Rodinia slowly returning. Exhale. You sense the subtle pull of the stone ocean guiding them home, invisible hands curling around the edges, nudging them forward, drawing them together. Inhale. There is no rush, no urgency, only slow drift, soft approach, gentle reunion. You feel anticipation like a soft vibration in your chest. Exhale. Inhale. It is not anxious, not tense, merely curious, a gentle expectation of the inevitable. The continents approach one another like friends returning after long separation, aware of each other's presence, cautious, delicate, patient. You float alongside, carried by warmth, merged with the currents, lulled by the infinite rhythm of return. The stone ocean beneath them hums a low, constant song, carrying the plates as they glide closer. Exhale. Valleys and ridges rise and fall in response to the movements, subtle yet persistent, like the soft sway of a cradle. Inhale. Mountains that once seemed distant now tilt toward one another, peaks greeting peaks, ridges brushing gently. The earth itself seems to sigh with welcome. Sometimes, continents meet softly at their edges, brushing as if saying hello. Exhale. You feel the warmth of that touch, the subtle vibration traveling along your spine, along your chest, along your awareness. Inhale. No friction, no clash, only gentle contact, a slow melding of forces, a quiet exchange of immense patience. You drift with it, carried along by the currents, lulled by their calm insistence. You notice how the land masses bend and fold as they reunite, subtle shifts smoothing edges, forming gentle ridges, creating valleys that sink softly into the earth's embrace. Exhale. Inhale. The stone ocean hums approval, carrying the motions along, guiding the slow choreography, creating a hypnotic rhythm in your chest, in your awareness, in your warmth. Sometimes, one continent lingers, rotating slowly, adjusting its path, waiting for another to approach. Exhale. Inhale. The stone ocean holds it tenderly, cradling its movement, smoothing the gentle tension, whispering patience. You float with the landmass, feeling the slow shift beneath your fingertips, beneath your spine, beneath your mind. The reunion is inevitable, yet carried out in perfect calm. You notice valleys stretching in response to contact, ridges rising softly like exhalations, mountains leaning toward one another like old friends leaning in close. Exhale. Inhale. There is humor here, subtle and quiet, a ridge tilting just so, a peak nudging another, playful, patient, infinite. You drift among these motions, noticing every fold, every touch, every gentle vibration of creation. The currents beneath continue to guide, unseen yet perceptible in warmth, in low hum, in alignment with your own breath. Exhale. Inhale. You feel the gentle tug of drift and return, separation and reunion, carried across eons, repeated endlessly, hypnotically, like the soft rise and fall of your own chest in quiet sleep. The stone ocean cradles all, infinite, patient, gentle. Some landmasses meet fully, edges aligning in a slow embrace. Exhale. You sense the subtle release of pressure, the soft alignment of ridges, the gentle fold of valleys, the smooth rise of mountains. Inhale. Currents beneath curl gently, carrying excess tension away, smoothing every interaction, guiding every shift. You float, mesmerized, warmed, cradled, aware of the infinite patience of these movements. You notice smaller fragments circling, approaching one another tentatively, merging gently. Exhale. Inhale. There is no urgency, no need to hurry. Each movement is measured, deliberate, tender, carried forward by currents that have flowed for millions of years. You drift along, inhaling patience, exhaling tension, merging with the hypnotic rhythm of return. The reunions are not sudden, they are gradual, a soft layering of presence upon presence. Exhale. Inhale. Valleys deepen subtly, ridges rise softly, mountains fold and tilt, creating a delicate choreography of stone and heat. The earth hums beneath, guiding, cradling, carrying, whispering that all is as it should be. You feel aligned, warmed, merged with the infinite patience of motion. Sometimes, continents meet at multiple points, like hands joining across a vast room. Exhale. Inhale. The connections are subtle, gentle, soft. Mountains rise slowly, valleys curve quietly, oceans fold gently between landmasses. You drift with each movement, carried along, hypnotized by calm, warmed by touch, lulled by the infinite, deliberate rhythm of reunion. You notice the cycles repeating: separation, drift, return, gentle reunion. Exhale. Inhale. Each cycle is slightly different, yet familiar, a lullaby of continuity, a soft song of creation and transformation. You float alongside these movements, cradled by warmth, soothed by rhythm, aware of the infinite dance of continents across the stone ocean. You feel the gentle push and pull, the soft nudging, the delicate embrace of reunited landmasses. Exhale. Inhale. It is not pressure but alignment, not struggle but cooperation, not loss but transformation. Each reunion carries the memory of drift, the hum of past collisions, the gentle pull of currents, the warmth of stone beneath your back. You drift, merged with all, carried by the patient, infinite rhythm. Sometimes, fragments separate slightly again, teasing, adjusting, testing the currents. Exhale. Inhale. And then, once more, they glide into place, edges brushing, ridges folding, valleys responding. The earth smiles quietly through its movements, playful yet patient, infinite yet gentle. You feel the calm humor, the warmth, the slow pulse, the hypnotic, endless rhythm beneath your awareness. And now, as you float in the gentle embrace of reunited continents, you sense the vast cycle continuing. Exhale. Inhale. Drift, separation, return, reunion, carried along by currents older than memory, guided by infinite patience, warmed by the stone ocean, lulled by its hum. You feel yourself aligned with this rhythm, merged with it, carried forward into the slow unfolding of the next chapter. You settle into the warmth beneath you, exhaling slowly, feeling the gentle pulse of the stone ocean echo beneath your spine. Inhale. The currents of earth ripple softly, carrying continents, ridges, valleys, and oceans in an endless, patient dance. You drift along, merging your awareness with the slow rhythm of motion, cradled by warmth, lulled by the hum, hypnotized by the gentle continuity of it all. All around you, the earth breathes. Exhale. Inhale. Mountains rise with soft sighs, valleys stretch like lazy exhalations, ridges fold gently, oceans swell and retreat in perfect, unhurried cycles. The stone ocean flows beneath every continent, every island, every hidden ridge, moving with infinite patience, carrying immense masses with tender care. You float alongside it, feeling the warmth of its embrace, the slow pulse of its heartbeat, the soft vibration beneath your awareness. The continents drift, sometimes colliding, sometimes separating, sinking gently, rising slowly. Exhale. Inhale. You notice the rhythm of these movements, the endless choreography of creation, the lullaby of Earth's deep currents beneath your back. Each collision is a whisper. Each separation is a sigh. Each subduction is a soft curl into the warmth of the mantle. You drift, hypnotized, warmed, cradled, merging with the eternal pulse. You feel the pull of ancient currents, winding beneath continents like invisible rivers. Exhale. Inhale. They carry fragments of Rodinia, Gondwana, Pangaea, echoes of times long past, drifting once more, guided by the stone ocean, cradled in patient motion. Mountains fold gently, valleys bend slowly, oceans stretch like soft ribbons, all part of a pattern older than memory. You float along, inhaling patience, exhaling tension, letting the rhythm wash over you. Sometimes, you imagine a continent brushing softly against another, edges touching like old friends, peaks and ridges nudging gently, valleys folding quietly. Exhale. Inhale. No clash, no sudden jolt, only alignment, only soft contact, only infinite patience. You feel the warmth, the subtle vibrations, the hum beneath your back, as though the earth itself smiles quietly at these gentle reunions. The stone ocean hums a low, soothing note, carrying the immense weight of continents, the rise of mountains, the slow bending of ridges. Exhale. Inhale. You feel the currents curl beneath your awareness, invisible yet tangible, carrying everything forward in perfect rhythm, guided by forces older than time, gentler than thought. You drift with it, merging breath with pulse, warmth with vibration, awareness with infinite patience. Sometimes, subduction zones draw a continent downward, gently, patiently. Exhale. Inhale. You sense the descent as warmth, as gentle pressure, as a soft vibration along your spine. Nothing is lost. Everything is transformed. Currents curl beneath, guiding the plate, nurturing the slow recycling of the Earth's crust, whispering the promise of return, of rise, of renewal. You float, soothed, hypnotized, merged with the rhythm of transformation. You notice the subtle humor of creation, tiny and playful. Exhale. Inhale. A ridge tilts just so. A valley curves unexpectedly. A mountain peak leans slightly as if to whisper hello. The earth is patient, infinite, and playful. You smile softly, letting warmth spread, letting tension dissolve, letting your awareness float alongside the stone ocean, carried by currents, lulled by motion, cradled by the soft pulse of immense patience. The cycles repeat endlessly. Exhale. Inhale. Drift, collide, sink, rise, separate, reunite, the gentle rhythm of continents across eons. Valleys sigh. Mountains stretch. Ridges fold. Oceans swell and recede. The stone ocean hums beneath it all, carrying everything, smoothing every motion, whispering the infinite lullaby of Earth's patient heartbeat. You drift alongside, inhaling continuity, exhaling stress, merged with rhythm, softened by warmth, cradled by the slow passage of immense time. You feel the eternal pulse of formation beneath you. Exhale. Inhale. Ridges rise, valleys deepen, peaks fold, oceans shift. Every movement is deliberate, patient, gentle. You float, hypnotized by rhythm, warmed by currents, carried by the infinite patience of creation. You sense that nothing is lost, nothing wasted, nothing rushed. Everything flows, drifts, returns, repeats, in perfect, calm continuity. Sometimes, you imagine standing on a gentle slope, feeling the warmth of stone beneath your feet, tracing the folds of ridges, running your hands along the edges of mountains, sensing the deep history of each peak, each valley. Exhale. Inhale. Every touch, every breath, every vibration carries the memory of movement, the soft imprint of infinite patience, the hypnotic hum of the stone ocean beneath your awareness. You notice the slow drift of continents toward one another, peaks nudging peaks, valleys curving toward valleys. Exhale. Inhale. The movements are gentle, playful, persistent. Mountains sigh into existence. Valleys breathe. Ridges fold like soft pages in a book. Oceans stretch and retreat. You float, cradled, merged, carried by warmth, lulled by rhythm, hypnotized by patience. The earth's song is endless. Exhale. Inhale. Drift, collision, rise, fall, separation, reunion, the lullaby continues. You notice each wave of motion beneath your back, each gentle vibration along your spine, each soft hum of creation in your awareness. You are part of it, aligned with it, warmed by it, cradled by it, hypnotized by its infinite patience. Sometimes, you imagine entire supercontinents gliding slowly, merging gently, separating softly, carried by the stone ocean. Exhale. Inhale. The rhythm is hypnotic, endless, calming. Currents swirl beneath the crust, guiding each fold, each ridge, each valley, each mountain peak. You drift along, merged with the pulse, carried by warmth, lulled by movement, soothed by the infinite, patient heartbeat of Earth. You notice how the cycles of motion, repetition, and renewal mirror your own breathing. Exhale. Inhale. You rise with mountains, sink with valleys, curl with ridges, drift with continents. The stone ocean hums beneath your awareness, carrying everything forward, infinitely patient, infinitely calm. You float, softened, cradled, hypnotized, merging your awareness with the timeless rhythm. And now, as the earth continues its endless, patient, hypnotic song, you feel yourself drifting fully into warmth, into calm, into alignment with motion and time. Exhale. Inhale. The continents, the mountains, the valleys, the oceans, the stone ocean all hum together, carrying you gently along, merging your breath with their rhythm, cradling you in the soft pulse of infinite patience. Somewhere ahead, the continents will drift, collide, sink, rise, separate, reunite endlessly, hypnotically, patiently. You float, cradled by warmth, lulled by rhythm, soothed by the soft pulse beneath your back. Exhale. Inhale. The earth carries your thoughts, your awareness, your breath along quiet currents, gentle folds, and rising ridges. You drift, softened, calmed, hypnotized, carried into the infinite embrace of time itself. And so you rest. Exhale. Inhale. Drift, float, merge, dissolve, carried by warmth, cradled by motion, lulled by rhythm, soothed by the stone ocean's infinite patience. Sleep carries you slowly, endlessly, gently, like a continent drifting on the calm, eternal currents of creation, and you surrender, fully, to the quiet embrace of a world in motion.